And you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. The Philadelphia Eagles lost the Super Bowl because they suck. The Philadelphia Eagles will always suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. That just rolls right off the tongue. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. And welcome to the Gridiron. I just love saying that. Philadelphia Eagles suck. Woo! Anybody out there at all going to spend a little bit of time here this evening? Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so anything gets put in there. As soon as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away. Plus, instead of me just rambling on for like half an hour straight, sometimes it's just nice to talk to somebody, right? So please feel free, fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. In the description box below, the top link, it takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. So I thank you in advance. If you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. I can use all the support I can get. If you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, in the description box, there's 2 additional Facebook links, okay? The top one takes you to my Facebook. It's a group, okay? It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Basically, my YouTube channel, my Facebook group, my Facebook page, it's all called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. I say this all the time. That's for a moron like me. I can remember. I don't got to, what's my YouTube channel called? What's my Facebook group? It's all called the same thing, right? New York Giants, the Gridiron. We got over 2,900 members in the group, okay? It's 7 days a week. During the season, off season, I'm putting stuff in there. I try to get like about 10 things in there every day if I can. Whether it's a video, a post, a picture of something making fun of Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Man, I love doing that. That's the greatest, And not only do I put stuff in there, but the members put stuff in there as well too. Right, so there's a ton of stuff going in there every day. Right, the second Facebook link takes you to my Facebook page. Okay, it's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron, but it's a page. So I'm the administrator, so I'm the only one to post in there. But it's the same thing every day, 7 days a week. I'm trying to get as much stuff in there as I can. What do we got? We have over 1,000 people who like it, and there's over 4,300 people who are following the page. This one's really doing pretty well. It's taking off pretty well. As I said, it's the same thing. I try to put a ton of stuff in there every day. So whether it's a video, a post, a picture, I said, once again, I got a video here of the 1981, the Giants playoff game. They lost to the 49ers 38-24. There's a video here, Bill Courier picking off Joe Montana pass. And I think it's like the next play, the Giants score a touchdown to get him into, Byron Hunt comes crashing in from the right side. Joe Montana throws overthrows the pass. Bill Courier picks it off. Lawrence Taylor's in there, right? He picks the pass off. I think it's like the next play, the Giants score a touchdown. So we're 1 or 2 plays later, and it gets them within 24-17. Unfortunately, the 49ers scored the next 2 touchdowns and put it at 38-17, and the game was pretty much over with. But it was a good season for the Giants. But anyway, I said, there's all kinds of stuff I put in here, right? And I don't commingle them. So basically, whatever I put in the Facebook page, I don't put it on the group, right? So for the most part, okay? So whatever, you go to the page and you like and you follow and you go to the group and you get a ton of different New York Giants stuff every day. And like I say all the time, if you go to the page and you like and you follow and you go to the group and you become a member, if you're not satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right, with all that stuff said and done, Joe Schoen, speaks to the media. It's almost kind of fun. It was almost like the same thing. It was like last year. I forgot, somebody asked him, like, who are you taking? See, last year you can almost kind of, when you're picking 5 and 7, you can kind of draw up some good scenarios where where you can see, well, we might get Kayvon, right? And then at number 7, well, we might get Evan. I mean, there's a bunch of different scenarios, obviously, but I mean, if you could find somebody. You can dial in and get your man at 25, absolutely guaranteed. If you want to pick somebody who's a second round grade, who's guaranteed to be there. But I mean, obviously, if you're looking for somebody, there's nobody in the world. I mean, you think trying to get, picking a Powerball number, 6 or 7 numbers, right? Try to pick I mean, it's the same thing with the final 64 with all those brackets and everything. Good luck. Who had San Diego State in the finals, huh? Good luck. God bless on that one, huh? But I mean, it's the same thing. Nobody is going to come up the first 24 picks. Nobody. Nobody. You don't know when the run on the cornerback's going to go, where the top 4 quarterbacks going to go, where's the surprise trade going to be, this, that, and the other thing. So you have like almost no idea, who's going to be there. There might be a gem there, may not be, right? But it was the same thing. Somebody this time, I think, I mean, the guy was just joking. I don't know who it was. You can just hear him in the background. It was kind of funny where Joe Schoen just sat down and whoever it was, the guy's like, just tell us who you're going to pick and we'll all leave. But Shane was there for like 20, 25 minutes or so. I know he had some of the questions. I mean, he's trying to talk about the draft and all that and everything. Of course, a couple of the questions kept harping on the Saquon Barkley kind of thing. And, seemed like he was a little bit kind of maybe over talking about Saquon, especially for the time being. But, he went over a bunch of things. I got this one from a Big Blue View. There was like 7 different things. He says here in Big Blue View, it's an article. It says 7 takeaways. First one, making Saquon sweat. Now they kept asking him, about Saquon, and then, and he's like, I haven't talked to him in about 3 weeks or so. There's nothing new going on. Once they put the franchise tag on him, he hasn't signed it or nothing like that. There's no new contract. It was somebody I think asked him like about Joe Schoen so you got some numbers rolling around in your head about what you want to offer him or something. I mean, it's kind of funny because I know that these guys, the media guys and women, there was women there too. They're just trying to do their job and all this stuff and everything. But, there's some of the questions that come up are just really, really kind of funny. But Shane was kind of like, just kind of allude to that. Like he tried to emphasize that, he hasn't talked to Saquon in about 3 weeks or whatever. And like right now, he's not thinking about Saquon Barkley and this and that. He's focusing in on the draft. Okay. The 3-day draft, which is huge. You possibly have, 10 players, maybe we trade back like we did last year, pick up another couple guys. Maybe we trade up and lose a couple picks, but jump up and grab somebody really, really good. Who knows? But, but we could have up to maybe around 10 guys, new guys joining the team. So, I mean, it's big times coming up here, but there was obviously better news with that. It says Dexter Lawrence. Okay. It says Giants and Barkley, the reps aren't. It says they're currently, I don't know. Some of this crap is, says Giants and they're currently ignoring each other. Giants and Barkley and his representatives. That's ridiculous. Ignoring each other. Shane said they were having good conversations within the last week, a long-term contract extension with Sexy Dexy. So that's good. They said they're having some good conversations there. That's good. Shane said dialogue's good there. It's hard this time of year. We're deep in the draft. Yeah, what I mean, in draft prep. So, I mean, he's got a lot of that going on. You know what I mean? So, it says playing the board. Shane has 10 picks in the upcoming draft. He was asked if 10 rookies could make the 53 roster. And I find that so hard because, we not only do we, obviously, we lost some free agents, but we brought some free agents in. I kept saying we got like 6 guys that, if you start looking at we got Sterling Shepard, right, coming back from an injury, right? WanDale Robinson coming back from an injury. Colin Johnson coming back from an injury, right? DJ Davidson coming back from an injury. Darian Beavers coming back from an injury, right? Marcus McKeithen coming back from an injury, right? Joshua Zudu coming back from it. So we got a lot of guys who weren't playing at the end of last year, who weren't on the roster, okay, that are coming back, okay. Then we obviously we not that these guys aren't guaranteed, but there's Johnson, the guy from the undrafted rookie from Duke, who we signed for a 3-year deal, right? I mean, it's a chance he'll make the team. Chance. We got Crowder. We brought in Barris Campbell. I'm excited to see him. I said we got Karake, Waller. So we brought these other guys in. Then we got another 10 guys coming. I mean, that's a lot of guys to try to make this team. So it's kind of makes you scratch your head. Are all 10 going to actually make the team? Because the draft picks are worth their weight in gold. Not the worth or I don't know, say not maybe worth it, but they put a lot of value on a draft pick. Okay, so to bring a guy in, back in the day, going back, when you had like 12-round drafts and this, that, like a lot of the guys, the 8th round, 9th round, they came to camp and all that, but a lot of the guys didn't even make the team. Nowadays, if you draft 7 rounds, you draft 7 guys, maybe if one doesn't make the team, okay. But I'll tell you what, man, if you're drafting 7 guys and you miss on 3 or 4 of them, I'll tell you what, that's a horrible draft. Absolutely horrible draft. Okay. Shane said he'd be open to, to do pretty much anything, right? To trading back and collecting some picks. Now the thing would be, right? Which would behoove possibly Shane, right? If they, the Giants, if they move back this year to collect draft picks, move back, collect a pick from this year, right? Like say somebody wants to jump into the first round for whatever reason and get 25 from the Giants. Just say it's the Chiefs, okay? The Chiefs trade their pick number 32 and they give the Giants a 4. I'm just throwing a number out there, a 4th round pick. Just throwing a number out there. That's all I'm doing, right? It would behoove the Giants to get the Chiefs' 4th round pick from next year, right? That way, because next year they're only supposed to, I think, have like 7 picks. They're not supposed to get any compensatory picks. So to get some extra bites at the apple next season might be beneficial. So just to go back to collect some more picks this year may not work, right? Because now you're going to have 11, 12 guys maybe try to make the team. Good luck, right? So he might, if he wants to collect some picks, maybe get some picks for next season, okay? But he said, he's pretty much open to anything. Okay. Shane reminded that, the draft is just not about filling out the roster, the 2023 roster. You've got to look at the roster, not just today, but in 2024, 2025, who's coming up. He said, financially, are some players coming up that are making a pretty good chunk of money on our team and some contracts on the horizon potentially. Yeah. That's always going to be the case. But it's a juggling act. You got to juggle that, right? Who can we keep that we want to keep, right? How much is it going to cost, right? Who are we going to, if we're not going to keep the right guard, okay, we got to look for somebody to fill the right guard. How are we going to do that? So there's all kinds of things. It's a juggling act. But he also mentioned, he said last year they were where they were financially. They needed as many pieces, draft pieces as they could get because they had really not much money. That basically maybe enough money to sign their draft class, meaning that, to bring in whoever the draft picks were, sign them, get them on the team. This year, it's a little bit different. Financially, it's a little bit different, because they don't have a ton of money now. But they have a better rounded roster. It still has holes, okay, but it's better rounded than it was last year, okay. So if you figure you give him a couple more drafts, like say another 2 or 3 drafts, hopefully, he'll get some depth in there. He'll get some good starters in there, right? Get it all rounded. It's a project. It's not, okay, well, this is the second season. This is the second draft. We got, we got our whole team. We're good to go. Well, let's go win the next 7 Super Bowl. No, right? It's a project. If we're still a little short on some guys this year, it's a project, right? Let's give them a 3rd year, maybe a 4th, right? See where we go. Okay, it's kind of tough, to fill a roster all out in 1 year. I mean, if you got a lot of holes, if you're trying to fill it out, that means you're bringing in a bunch of free agents. And that's not the way you want to go. All right. And they also ask him, let's say, what's a successful draft pick? Shane said, he looks at time over 3 years. Shane said, usually it's over 3 years is what their play time is, their contribution, whether they develop into a starter. That's obviously, that's a hit. If they turn into a good starter, that's good. So he said that's what he said gives a successful draft pick. Give them 3 years. Okay. And then he said finding fits. Drafting is just not about snagging the most talented player or players. It's about finding players who fit your scheme, your coaching, and your culture. Now, somebody asked Shane, about maybe drafting somebody like defensively to fit Wink Martindale's scheme, okay, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, you don't want to bring somebody in who can only play, whatever. He can only play cornerback. He can't come in the box. He can't blitz. He's not good at making tackling in the run game. He's a good cornerback, but that's all he can do. That's not happening, right? You know what I mean? So you want to bring guys in and draft guys who fit, for the most part, Wink's scheme. The problem with that is one of the media guys asked him, I can't remember who it was. It was Jordan Renan or who it was. But they're talking about, Wink Martindale maybe getting a job. He almost got a job this year. If the Giants keep being successful, okay, with their defense, there's a chance it's just a matter of time that Wink gets a head coaching job. Okay, so now if he goes and whatever, say now he's coaching the Browns, right? Now you got a bunch of guys here, okay, on the Giants defense that fits Wink's scheme, which is fantastic. But the problem is Wink's now in Cleveland. Okay. And now you got to bring a coach in. What are you going to do? Bring the coach in. All right. Well, we know you like to run this, but you can't run that here because we got these guys that we drafted for Wink Martindale's defense. So now you got to try to start running your defense to fit in. No, it's not the way, you know what I mean? You're bringing a guy in because he's good defensive wise. Right. And you're probably going to run his scheme with his kind of guys. So one thing that Bill Parcells mentioned to Shane years ago when they were both in Miami. Okay. He said to him, coaches come and go, so you got to draft players. All right. About good overall players as well, too. Not only got, good players, but guys that obviously, fit your culture and everything. That's huge. But Bill Parcells mentioned that to him, okay, and that's an excellent point. I mean, Bill Parcells speaks, you listen, okay, and that's you don't necessarily want to bring in every guy, scheme specific to Wink Martindale, because when Wink is gone, you can be in a lot of trouble, especially if you bring these guys in. Okay, and you on the big salaries and all that, and you got to dish out all kinds of money and everything, right? And then a new defensive coordinator comes in. It's like, I don't want this guy. I don't want that edge rusher. He just rushes the court. I don't do that. My edge rushers, they do run defense. What do you give me Ngakoue for? He just rushes the passer. He can't. You know what I mean? So that's a very, very good point. Also, then they asked him about finding mid-round gems, okay, and then the value of the 30 visits. Now, one thing with the 30 visits, okay, is it's not only to see if the guy, bringing in, those 30 visits. Oh, what do we got, Terrence? Again, he downplayed the need for a center. He does that, yeah. Obviously, I'm sure he does that on purpose. He also kind of downplayed one time one of the talks. Somebody asked him about a number one wide receiver, a stud. He said, well, you can get wide receivers kind of, he's kind of like round the, can you win? Hey, look at the Chiefs. They didn't have a stud wide receiver, right? That Tyreek Hill wasn't there, right? But they had Travis Kelce. But so in a way, he's right. Yeah, but It's like, we got our backup punter. He was a center for one game back in 7th grade. I think he snapped the ball 3 times in 7th grade. The backup punter, not a 13th string punter. So we might try him. Maybe trying him in there at center. I was like, so we'll have to wait and see. The thing is with center, okay, is that if they're going to try center, they could do that in the first few rounds, first 3 rounds. Now, as I said, I don't know if John Jacob Jingle, Michael Schmitz is going to be there, not be there, worth taking in the first round. Don't know. Will he be there at 57? May not. Okay. But there's some guys in the first couple rounds that could, we're not talking Hall of Fame centers. We're not talking all pros. Just what I'm hearing. I don't watch tape 13 hours a day just so I know every center in the draft. Don't do that. Not going to do that. Life's too short. I value the other guys' opinions, the other people out there who trade their lives watching the tape 75 hours a day. I value their opinions, okay? And, there's definitely some centers the Giants can pick in the 2nd and 3rd round without question. So we'll have to wait and see. But, he could just be like just blowing smoke out there, as far as with the center. Kind of redirecting a little of the attention, meanwhile, the Giants are focusing in on a center in the first, maybe 2nd round, and people keep asking questions about center. We got some guys. That's no big deal. Who needs a center, right? So, he can just be blowing smoke up people's butts. That's all. But he was talking about the 30 visits, right? One of the things is that, which is important, okay, it's just not to bring guys. It's not like we're bringing guys in, okay, who are definitely on the board. We brought Mims in. Just say Mims, right, from Oklahoma, the wide receiver. Giants are looking at him. All right, probably 2nd round, baby. Whee! It could be, to see if he's a fit, but theoretically, the guy could be off their board before he walks in the door. If his meeting's at 8:00 and he comes in at 8:10, guess what? They took the chalk, the eraser, Mims, right off the board. Right? Also, they're trying to maybe, they found maybe got a couple questions, maybe some things in the past that they want to bring up and see if, so it might be so they can, take them off their board. So just because they're bringing guys in doesn't mean, they're on the Giants' radar to get drafted. So, but the 30 visits are very, very interesting. So Shane was there for about 20, 25 minutes or whatever. But I'll tell you what, it's freaking crazy, isn't it, right now? By this time next week, we'll know who the Giants. As long as they don't trade out of the first round, by this time next week, we'll know who their pick is. It's unbelievable. And before you know it, we're in May, right? When you get my age, time really freaking flies by fast. And it's just, before you know it, we'll be kicking off opening weekend. It's freaking crazy. But 1 week from today, I'm going to be going live too. So I'll be live. I'm going to go live Thursday night and Friday night for the first round on Thursday and for the 2nd and 3rd round on Friday. So I'll be going live. So however long that is, I don't know when it starts, 8:00 next week. So I'll be going live next week, 8:00, 8, whenever the draft starts. I'll be going live. So whatever that is, 3 hours. And then Friday night, I'll be going live for that too, for a couple hours. So I'll be right there when we wind up making the picks. So that's cool. Then we got some good news on WanDale Robinson, which is cool because the guy caught one pass against the Titans for like 5 yards, hurt his knee, and missed a bunch of games. Then he came back and he was doing well. I think he had what did they have? Was it 23 receptions he had last year? Yeah, 23 on 31 targets. Okay, so he caught about 75% of the passes that came his way. Right? Not bad. Yeah, averaged 9.9 yards of reception, nothing crazy. But he had that great game against Detroit, and that's when he got hurt. He had 9 receptions, I believe 100 yards, having a really, really good game. Of course, he got hurt. He's out for the whole season. But very, very anxious to see him come back. But let's see. Robinson has been grinding to recover from a serious knee injury, and as he's looking to make a big-time splash in 2023. Luckily for him, it's looking like he'll be able to hit the ground running sooner than later. According to Tony Pauline, who's this freaking guy is very, very knowledgeable. Tony Pauline is he's one of those draft guys. I mean, he spends his whole life just with the draft and following. If you ask him about the 13th string guard from Utah State Tech University A&M, he'll know all about the guy, right? So he trades his life for that. But this guy's he knows a lot of stuff. He hears a lot of stuff and everything like that. So that's what his life is. I mean, he's got a book of knowledge. But according to Tony Pauline, Robinson is making great strides in his recovery, and he should be ready to go for training camp, which is freaking fantastic. So in a couple months, he should hopefully be ready to go. I mean, if if he starts out a little slow or whatever, we should have a ton of wide receivers in there. So, I mean, if it takes him a little bit of time to get going, hopefully he should be good to go. When we change the turf, right, at the stadium, hopefully he'll stay healthy this year. Knock on wood. All right. Let's see. And I said that's a major offseason win for head coach Brian Daboll. Now, let's see. The Giants, Tony Pauline also said he hears, I think he said he heard about the Giants with Tyler Scott. This is him talking. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on. Here. Yeah. 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 Tyler Scott from Cincinnati. I mean, you hear these little things. I don't know where he gets his knowledge from or whatever. I said this guy, Tony Pauline, is very, very knowledgeable. But he was talking about Tyler Scott from Cincinnati. Said the Giants kind of got their eye on him. Explosive down the field kind of guy, good in the return game, possibly a third-round pick. So the Giants obviously don't go wide receiver in the first couple of rounds. I'd be shocked if they don't pick up a wide receiver somewhere along the lines. But Tony Pauline was saying this guy Tyler Scott, maybe from Cincinnati, somebody to keep an eye on. And so Tony Pauline, knows his stuff about these draft picks. So got to keep your eye out on him. But it's good news to hear about. Colin Johnson should be ready because he's the one. Obviously, he got wiped out in training camp last year, so he should be good to go. Okay, Wan'Dale Robinson should be good to go. We'll have to wait and see about Sterling Shepard or not. Hopefully he can, because he just signed like the 1-year deal. I mean, there's no guarantee he's going to make the team or nothing like that. But let's hopefully he'll be back. He'll make the team, all right? So, but it's good news to hear about Wan'Dale Robinson because I hadn't heard much at all on anything about him. But it's really, really good to hear. And then finally, we got this. It's kind of like, I got this report here. I mean, it's like, let's see. It says proves that natural grass is significantly safer than turf. Well, this past season here, what they did, they kind of ran over an 8-year period. Okay, let's see, highlighting that injury rates on natural grass were lower over an 8-year period from 2012 to 2020. Okay. But this past in 2021, it said turf and natural grass injury percentages were similar in 2021. Okay. And then even in preseason in 2022, okay, there wasn't a significant difference. However, this past season, okay, artificial playing surfaces had an injury rate, okay, of 0.4, I believe it was 0.48. Yeah. The regular season data from 2022 once again indicated that turf was more hazardous than the rate for non-contact or lower extremity ailments on artificial turf. It was 0.048 per 100, injuries. The natural grass rate was notably lower at 0.035. Okay. So 0.035 compared to 0.48. So it's a 37% jump. All right. Meaning like the lower body, the injuries, non-contact was significantly higher. Okay. Now, one of the things that they were talking about was they said about like with the plea was for two stadiums, MetLife and Ford Field, and they wanted to immediate ban on slit film turf back in November. Right. So it's the slit film turf. Apparently that's what MetLife and Ford Field had where the Lions are at. Okay. They won't be using that specific turf in 2023. However, the slit film turf will still be used by the Vikings, the Saints, the Colts, and the Bengals. Okay. But the, it showed a significant amount of injuries. I mean, obviously, with the with grass compared to the turf. Now, the thing is, the problem is that with the Giants, if it was just a football stadium, okay, and the Giants, played like 8-9 home games there throughout the course of the season, that would be one thing. The problem is that one week the Giants are playing, then the next week the Jets are playing, then and this is in like November and December when it's hard to grow grass in the Northeast, right? Then during the summertime they have like different venues going on there. They might have soccer. Then they might have, like concerts in there and everything. If it was just specifically just like the Eagles stadium, okay, I'm sure it gets used by other football, but they're able to sustain the grass. It's a beautiful stadium. Can't stand the team. Can't hate the freaking fans and all that, but it's a beautiful stadium, beautiful turf, absolutely beautiful. And you'll notice, because like with the Eagles, right, I brought this up to, one of the past couple of years, one of the things that the Eagles had going for them, okay, is the injury rate. All right, they were in 2021. The Giants led the Giants 356 man games lost due to injuries. This is going to mangameslost.com. Okay, I have a subscription with them. It's like what the hell it was, $60 a year or something like that. The Eagles were the 31st team. They had 137 man games lost due to injury. The Giants had 356. The Giants had like 220 more man games lost due to injury than the Eagles did, right? That was 2021. Okay, the Eagles weren't particularly phenomenal, right, in 2021. But if you go to this season, it just went by. The same thing, right? The Giants went from number one. At least they got a little bit better. The Giants went from the most injured team this past 2 seasons ago. I'm sorry, they were number 6 this year. Okay, so they got better. They went from 356 down to what the hell did they go? 261. So they almost went down 100. Okay, so they got. I mean, as bad as it was this year, it was even more, obviously, far worse in 2021. But if you look, I mean, the Eagles once again. The Eagles were 4th from the bottom. The Eagles, once again, 137 man games lost due to injury. 137, and the Giants had 261. The Giants had, 124 more man games lost, right? And once again, with the Eagles, okay, good roster, and they stayed healthy. Jacksonville, by far, they had, it was a 78. Jacksonville, they lost 78 man games lost due to injury. Like nothing. That's why they won their division. The reason why the Titans didn't win that division, the Titans were the worst, by far the worst, the most injured team in the NFL. They lost 339 man games lost due to injury. That's why the Titans did not win their division, and Jacksonville did. Okay, Jacksonville had nobody injured, and the Titans had a lot of guys injured, right? But I'm just also harping on with the Eagles. Okay, they were the fourth least injured team. Okay, Green Bay, right? Grass, right? They were the third least injured team. Kansas City, I believe they have grass as well too. I think they were the second least injured team. Jacksonville, grass, right? I believe they have grass as well too. They were the least injured team. Okay, so teams that so it could be something to this grass thing, right? Now, according to Mr. Mara, okay, the Giants, or not the Giants, but MetLife Stadium, okay, in 2026 is going to need to put grass in for the World Cup. You don't play grass. World Cup, they don't play. They don't, you don't get Ronaldo or Messi or, none of those guys, right, running around out there blowing their ACLs out, right, on turf. It's grass, right? Right, those guys that make $500 million every goal, or whatever, they play on grass. So MetLife Stadium in 2026 is going to have grass. Now, I guess it'll be in the summertime, right? Now, will grass remain there for football season? We'll have to wait and see. The problem is it's so difficult to maintain it, like in November and December and now January. It's so tough to maintain it. It's not like, and they don't have it set up where like in Arizona, they were some of these stadiums, they have, it's like a tray, they slide it out and they can slide it in, like they can slide out a turf, whatever, maybe, I don't know, resize or something and slide it back, have multiple, fields that they can slide in and out, like put an AstroTurf in there and let them have a concert on it, and then slide the grass turf on top of it, let them play some football, slide that out and have a rodeo on whatever. I mean, they don't have that capability. The stadium wasn't built like that. So I don't know if the Giants will be able to continue to do that, keep the grass. I mean, that was the one from 2000 to 2002, the Giants, for the longest time, the Giants had the Giants written on the side of their helmet. Well, after 1999, in 2000, they went back to the little NY, what they have on their helmet now, the little NY. Well, not only did they go back to the NY on the side of their helmet, but they also went back to grass. And it brought me back to like Yankee Stadium back in the early 70s and all that stuff when they had the little NY on the side of the helmet and they had grass feel. I'm like, man, it feels like I was a kid again, man. And it was special that year because they went to the Super Bowl. They got blown out, but they still went to the Super Bowl. But for 3 seasons, they had grass, 2000, 2001, 2002. But they just, with the Giants being there, the Jets being there, it was just, they just couldn't keep up with it. A lot of time, I remember a lot of time, whoever it was would be running or somebody would get tackled to be like a big, huge divot of grass come up and they'd have to like push it back down. And I guess it just got to be too much of a headache or whatever. So that's why they just did away with it. I guess it just got to be too expensive. Now, I don't know if that's somewhere along the line they'll ever actually be able to figure out a way in that stadium to be able to keep grass. I mean, like they do in Lambeau Field or Chicago, Soldier Stadium, Soldier Field, where Eagles play or the Redskins, But I mean, I hope they do because I mean, it's not only, it's like it's the guys that put their every day, they put every game, every time they practice on, they're putting their livelihood on the line, right? And it's not, it's everything. I mean, what is it worth to you as an owner to lose a few ball players? I mean, don't you want to win the Super Bowl? I mean, I don't want to, I want to win a Super Bowl, but, I don't want to spend extra money for grass. You're making billions of dollars. I mean, what's it cost to put some grass in? I mean, come on, so I don't know if they'll be able to keep it, maintain it, but it sure would be nice. I'm a huge advocate. I love grass. I love the dirt, the mud, and all that. I love that. Absolutely love it. So I hope the Giants can actually find a way. And I tell you what, if all the stadiums went to grass, I'm all for it, because I mean it's safer, right? And it might cost more money, but in today's NFL, where there's hundreds of millions of dollars getting thrown around all over the place, they got all these billions of dollars of TV revenue coming in, and this, that, and the other thing. In today's NFL, there's no excuse. We're doing more and more for the concussions with the guys, and all that safety there. Okay, well, good. That's one step in the right direction. Let's keep the ball rolling. Let's start taking care of the Achilles, maybe the ACLs and all that. Let's get crazy. Maybe it's not going to totally eliminate it, but it's certainly going to decrease the amount. And, if you're an owner, you want to win. Why do you want to jeopardize losing half your ball club to these lower injuries? And then your team goes down the dumper, right? Look with the Eagles. The Eagles had no injuries, had a good team, right? And look how far they went. You can have the best team on paper, but if they're all hurt, who cares? You're not going to win no games, right? So hopefully the Giants, somewhere along the line, they can figure out that the Giants, Jets, or whatever, they can figure out a way to keep the grass in there, but that won't be for a couple of years. So hopefully in 2026, when the World Cup comes, they get grass in there. Hopefully they can find a way to keep grass in there and just keep it from now on. And, to me, it'll look cooler, but also we're talking about the safety of the guys. And not only safety of the guys, right, but your team will be better. I mean, if your star players, you put them on the field, if they're there after 17 games, you got a good chance of winning. I mean, if guys just start dropping like flies one game after the other, I mean, you just see, nothing derails a season faster than injuries. So, well, guys, it's been 42 minutes. Anybody spent any time watching me, I thank you so much. If anybody spends any time watching a replay this, once again, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means I can use all the support I can get, guys. Thank you. All right. And as always, you guys stay safe out there. Terrence, thanks for the comment, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.